What a result for Uruguay. 30 points to 27 victory over Fiji in what is this World Cup's biggest upset for sure. Well, where do you start with this one? Fiji were expected to get a pretty comfortable win. They did have a short turnaround and did have to make a lot of changes to their team. That may be a factor, I guess, in the end result, but you can't take anything away from Uruguay. They prepared very well. They took their chances, took their goal kicks, which is potentially a very good step forward for them as well. And overall, great result for them. You can't help but feel for the Fijians. But that being said, you've got to rejoice for these Uruguayan guys because, again, not many people gave them a chance. And absolute congratulations to them. This is what World Cup rugby is all about. It started with a pretty positive look for Fiji. Dominant scrum, won a couple of penalties. You saw Vetokani get like a little chip and gather early, and his skills were on display. And it looked like the Fijians were just going to be a cut above Uruguay. 7 minutes, they do a little set-piece set-piece line-out move to Dolokoto, and Fiji gets the first try. They make it 5-0. They miss the conversion, and missed conversions will be a definite story of this game, part of it anyway. 12 minutes, though, Uruguay almost get an intercept. Probably prevents a try being conceded on their own, but it's a legitimate attempt. Can't quite hold it, so it could have been a try either way if he'd gathered it, but it just ended up being a knock-on, so nothing was really doing there. But it was that first moment that Uruguay actually looked to really threaten. 13-minute, the Fiji passing was loose. It was really loose, and Arata ends up getting a try. One of his teammates gathered the ball, popped it to him. He beats about 2 or 3 defenders on the way to the try line, and scores the try. Puts Uruguay in front, 7 points to 5. It's fine at that point. A lot of the underdogs at this point have scored tries, gone ahead in games, but none of them have been able to go ahead and finish it. And again, that looks the case here because 18 minutes, Mawai or 19 minutes gets the try for Fiji. It was all through the forwards for that one. And I think maybe that's an area that Fiji should have looked at more because they seem to have a little bit more success. The Uruguayan defense really was able to read the Fijians going wide and able to shut down all that space. So, yeah, much pay through the forwards. They do get that conversion, and it's 12 points to 7. So Fiji are in front. 21 minutes, though, Fiji kind of stuff up the restart. They get charged down. That leads to a Uruguay penalty eventually. A line out, a maul. They go a few phases. And Diana goes over the line, powers over, puts Uruguay back in front with the conversion, 14 points to 12. And that's kind of mini shock number one. The shock level kind of got larger and larger as the game went on because you realized they weren't just going to fall away. 25 minutes though, Cat gets his try. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but 26 minutes. Fiji kind of miss a tackle out on the left wing. Someone goes for a big hit. I forget who it was. And it's all started from Fiji not taking a high ball. The ball was able to bounce. The commentator said maybe the sun was in the eyes. But all because of that, they go out wide. There's an offload. They get the try, and the key thing is they convert it. 21 points to 12. They do a TMO a bit later on for a potential one, but there's nothing doing with that one. 36 minutes, Uruguay go 10 plus phases. They do have to stop the play because there's a head clash. It was pretty nasty. And there was a bit of blood. And then they eventually get to a penalty, so it's 24 points to 12 to Uruguay at half time. Was not expecting them to be... If they were going to be ahead, I wasn't expecting them to be that far ahead. I wasn't expecting them to be ahead at all, really. But to have a 12-point lead at half-time was very impressive. The big question was, would they be able to hold it? You look at those half-time stats. Fiji, 269 run meters to Uruguay's 166. Fiji, more possession, 56. More territory, 54%, that is. But they were conceding the ball too much. They were coughing up too much ball. The error rate for Fiji was too high. Fiji's tackling was decent, 81%, but again, they gave away 3 tries in that first half. Uruguay were at 71. So Yeah, it was all there for Fiji to do, and you kind of back Fiji to come back. At any point, Fiji can score a try. So 41 minutes, they blow an early chance. They've got like an overlap, and they end up throwing it to the Uruguay player. And this is that kind of stuff that added up over the course of this game. 43 minutes, Fiji, I guess, show at that point a wee bit of respect. Like, oh man, because they've had penalties that were kickable before, and they've gone for touch. But 43 minutes, they decide, okay, we'll go for the posts. Matavesi misses the penalty out left. It's not a good strike at all. And I should mention that some of the misconversions for Fiji, one of them was pretty much as bad as Dan Bigger's one the other day. It was almost right out in front, and it was a miss. So, really bad. 47 minutes, Rotuni Yarawa gets a try for Fiji. They had advantage. There's a good offload in the build-up. And, that's the one that Matavesi missed the conversion right out in front. Really bad. I mean, just so costly. But at 17-24 at that stage, 55 minutes, Uruguay miss a penalty. 58 minutes, Uruguay go 12-plus phases. You can hear the crowd. You can hear them chanting Uruguay. I don't know how often you hear that at rugby. Maybe in football it's pretty common, but I've never heard that in rugby before. You could hear them loud and clear. Eventually they win a penalty. 27-17, 10-point lead. Fiji then have a line out, 63 minutes. Not straight. It's another unforced error. 66 minutes, Fiji go 16-plus phases. Matawalu gets the first of his 2 tries from the base of the ruck. That guy had an impact. Unfortunately for the Fijians, not enough of their subs were able to have a big impact. But they missed the conversion. It's a 5-point margin, 27-22. So it still looks like Fiji have got time to win it. 75 minutes, though, Uruguay kick a penalty to put it beyond 2 scores. So to force Fiji to get 2 scores. So at that point, Fiji have to kind of run everything. But since about 68 minutes, Fiji have been just trying to run everything at that point anyway. 80 minutes, TMO has a look at Vola Vola for a potential try, but he's short, loses the ball. They go back for a penalty. So Fiji get their second try from Matawalu. It's on the back of a scrum. So they do get a bonus point for finishing within 7 points. And they do get a bonus point for scoring 4 or more tries. It's still a disaster for Fiji to get this loss. But if they were going to lose, they did it in the best possible way in terms of the points they acquired. For Uruguay, it's an absolutely amazing, fantastic, heroic win. I don't think many people picked it. I'll have to look at my Super Brew pool a bit later, but I can't imagine many people picked Uruguay to get the win here. Absolute congratulations. I hope this makes the news in Uruguay. I'm not sure how much rugby gets on the news, but hopefully this becomes a news story there. It will certainly be in the news here in New Zealand, that's for sure. You look back at this game overall, the stats, run meters for Fiji 591 to Uruguay's 297, so they had the run meters. Possession, they had 57% to Uruguay's 43. Territory 55 to 45 again in favor of Fiji, but you look at the turnovers conceded, Fiji 25. Uruguay still had 15, but just far too many errors from Fiji. Very costly. Fiji's tackling percentage was actually okay, 85%. They were able to largely shut the Uruguayans down, but when they did have those chances, boy, did they take them. Uruguay's tackling percentage was just below 70, but they made the ones that needed to be made. So all the Fijians made a mistake. So that's kind of how it went. I should say that ground was absolutely beautiful. The scenery, the mountains in the background, fantastic stuff. A beautiful setting for what was a pretty extraordinary game. Fiji finished with a kick percentage of 20%. Very costly, man. There's enough points in there from the boot, even if you're taking a couple more to get a win, but not enough. Uruguay just missed the one, and that was the penalty shot they took that didn't go over. You look at some of the individual stats. Nkosi finished with the top run meters, 96 run meters for him, so that's a good effort, but he himself, 5 turnovers conceded, just too many. Kiveta for Uruguay ended up with 13 out of 14 tackles, so a very busy effort from him in holding the Fijians out. So, amazing result. Amazing. If you haven't seen the game, this is one that you should probably go back and find a way to watch. The highlights package will no doubt be out by World Rugby a bit later. And then the extended highlights will probably be worth watching as well. They usually come out a day or two later as well if you haven't seen them. So, Uruguay, very impressive win. Congratulations. Tip my hat to you guys. Absolutely incredible. The World Cup lives off this stuff. It's unfortunate for Fiji that you had to be the ones on the end of the upset. It's never nice. South Africa were the ones last time with Japan, and there's countless teams before you that have had that happen to them. But overall, good day for rugby. Fiji, I don't think are dead and buried. They would need to beat Wales, I think, and then hope that Australia beat Wales and that other things go their way. It's pretty bad, but I don't think it's mathematically impossible. We'll have to go look at the tables a bit later. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on this one, and I will talk to you again soon. See you later.